Hello. Today we will be discussing the chapter 3 for this course, which is the program control structure. And of course, I have introduced these structures before during your chapter 1, but then we will discuss more about it, right? So, come on, let's start. Okay, so as you can see, we have here what is a control structure. It says here, all program or computer programs, no matter how simple or how complex, kahit daw gaano kasimple o kahirap yung program, they are written using one or more three basic controls structures. We have here, I introduced this before, sequence or sequencing, selection, and repetition. Kahit gaano kahirap or kahit gaano kasimple yung program, meron at meron ang mga yan. Okay? Sequence, selection, and repetition. These structures are called control structure or logic structure because they control how the flow of the program logic. They control the program, how the flow of your program. Okay? You will use the sequence structure in every program you write. In most programs, okay, you will use the selection and repetition structures. Okay? So parang yung default when you do on programming, the default control structure is sequence. Yung step by step lang. Okay? For maximum flexibility and to write powerful programs, you can use these three control structures in many different combinations throughout the program. Okay? Para hindi lang, kasi pwede ka namang gumawa ng program na kahit sequence lang pero mahirap yan. Ikaw mahihirapan. Kokonti lang yung features ng program na pwede mong magawa using sequence. Okay? Para mas okay yung program na mangyari, okay? Na yes, ay dapat meron tong combination ng selection, sequence, and then anong isa? Repetition. All right? So we will discuss the sequence. Okay? Sequence, it directs the computer to process the program instructions one after another, step by step, in the order listed in the program. You will find a sequence structure in every program. Yes, lahat ng program meron at merong sequence structure. Meron at merong sequence structure sa lahat ng program. Okay? So, let's take a look at this example. We have here, paano na? Alright. It says here, Harold is standing outside facing a park bench. So, this is Harold. This is the bench. I'm not sure if nakikita nyo. We have here. This is Harold. This is the bench. He is standing in front or facing the bench. The bench is two steps away from Harold. So parang 1, 2, mag-step siya ng dalawa bago niya marating yung bench. So we will write an instruction that direct Harold to sit down on the bench. Okay? So, as you can see here, the algorithm written, okay, yung sinabi ko, yung example natin last time, during your, anong activity yan? Okay, so you need to write an algorithm. So we have here example of algorithm. Since it says here, 2 steps. So, step by step ito, sequence, hindi pwedeng yung isang code mo gawin niya ng 2 beses. So, kailangan isa-isa. So, walk forward, okay? Mag-forward si Harold. Another, walk forward. Kasi 2 steps. And then, turn left 90 degrees. Then, another. Kasi parang nakatagilid na siya. Then, turn left 90 degrees para tumalikod na si Harold. And then, sit down on the bench. Kasi hindi naman siya pwedeng umupo na nakaharap. Okay? So, ito, lumapit siya ng 2 beses at tapos nag-turn siya 90 degrees 2 beses para lang makatalikod dun sa bench and then para makaupo. So, that is the algorithm. Sample. So, yung program, gagawin niya yung mga codes 1 to 5 step by step. from top to bottom. Hindi niya pwedeng lampasan yung isa. No. That's not sequencing. Okay? When you say sequence, gagawin niya lahat-lahat. So, another example here is, we have here, dim x, then y, as integer. So, we will discuss this soon. Ano mga yan? Variable and then data type. Then, another is dim z as double. Now, we are going to assign the value of x, we have here, 1. Assign 1 as the value of y. And then, we will process, we have here, x plus the value of y, which is 1 plus 1, okay? The 2 will be the value of z. Ipapasa niya. And then, print z. So, it's 2.0 kasi double yan. Okay? So, ito, gagawin niya step by step from top to bottom when we say sequence. Hindi pwedeng gawin niya itong dim z as double. Now, hindi niya ginawa ito, yung x and y. Now, what is x and what is y? Hindi niya alam kasi hindi niya ginawa yon. So, hindi pwedeng mangyari yon. So, dapat gawin niya step by step from top to bottom. Sequence in sequence. Okay? So, that is sequence structure. Lahat ng program, gaano man kahirap, kasimple, meron at merong sequence structure. Okay? So, hopefully, naintindihan yung about sa sequence structure natin. Okay? Next, we have here the selection structure. Ano naman ang meron sa selection? It says here, it indicates that a decision needs to be made, followed by an appropriate action derived from that decision. It means there is a decision or a condition and then followed by the action. Followed by your statements. The decision is based on a condition that must be evaluated before an action can occur. Okay? Kailangan merong decision yan at magde-decide or merong condition at magde-decide yung computer or yung program mo kung true or false, and then kung true, gagawin niya kung anong steps or appropriate action or kung anong statement na ipapagawa mo sa kanya. So that is selection structure. A condition can evaluate to either true or false. It's Boolean, true or false. The selection structure, also called the decision structure, directs the computer to follow a decision and then select an appropriate action based on that decision. Okay? So, to understand more about this decision or selection structure, we have here an example. The same. It's Harold. The only difference dun sa kanina, okay, we don't have the cat on the bench. For now, we have now, we don't know if the cat is on the bench or not. So it's here. Harold is standing outside facing a park bench. The same. The bench is 2 steps, the same, away from Harold. Harold's cat, okay, the name of the cat is Ginger, may be on the bench. So we don't know if the cat is on the bench or not. Okay? Write the instruction that directs Harold to gently shove the Ginger off the bench. Palayasin niya daw yung cat kung nandun sa bench and then sit down on the bench. Kapag walang cat, of course, hindi niya palalayasin kasi wala nga siyang papalayasin. Okay? So, how could we write an algorithm for Harold to follow? Okay? Alright. So, here. Actually, this is a combination of sequence and selection. So, here, sequence and then sequence dito. Walk forward, then walk forward. So, 2 steps. Okay? Now, bago siya umupo sa bench, ano ang gagawin niya? Okay. If the cat is on the bench, Harold will do this. Gently shove Ginger off the bench. Papalayasin niya yung pusa, yung cat sa bench, kung meron. What if wala yung cat sa bench? Of course, mag-jump na siya ng turn left or parang mag-jump na siya ng 4. Walk forward, walang pusa, kaya turn left 90 degrees, then sit down. What if nandun yung pusa? The cat is on the bench. So walk forward, palayasin mo yung pusa, and then turn left 90 degrees, and then sit down on the bench. So, the decision is here. It's either gagawin niya ito or hindi. And then more example on this kapag matakal na natin yung iba't ibang selection structure. Okay? Another example here is, here, a superhero naman. The superhero gets one shot at the villain. He needs to raise his right arm before taking shot. Of course, yan. If he hits the villain, he should say, got him, and then lower his right arm. If he doesn't hit the villain, he should say, missed him, before lowering his right arm. Okay. Yung isa kanina, it's either the cat is on the bench. Ito yung gagawin niya. Kapag wala siyang gagawin, dire-diretso na lang, umupo. Ito naman, meron siyang gagawin kung natamaan niya, at meron din siyang gagawin kung hindi niya natamaan. So if here, example, raise right arm, step number 1. Number 2, shoot at the villain. Now, we have here a condition. If the villain was hit, do this. Say, got him. Otherwise, do this. Say, missed him. And if, then lower right arm. Let's assume that the villain got hit by this superhero. Natamaan. Okay? So, gagawin niya yan. So, ang gagawin niya ay got him. And then, lower right arm. What if hindi niya natamaan? So, raise right arm, shoot at the villain. Sabi nga natin, hindi niya natamaan. So, hindi niya gagawin yung got him, kundi ito yung sasabihin niya. Missed him. And then, saka niya ilo-lower yung right arm niya. Okay? So, that is the selection structure. So, we have here the different selection structures actually. Okay? We will discuss them one by one. If then else, nested if, and then select case. Alright. It says here, the if statements or structures allow your program to make decisions based on a certain condition. Okay? First, okay, it says here, it will allow your program to make decision. So, your program will decide, okay, if either true or false, and then it will perform the action. Alright? So, first is if then. If then. Okay. If then. It presents a condition, and if the condition is true, the statements or series of statements contains event in between the if and if will be evaluated. So this is if then if then. So we have here the syntax of if then. Syntax. When we say syntax again, this is your basis on how to do if then, or how to code if then control structure or selection structure. So we have here the word if, and then after if, the condition. Dito siya magde-decide, your program will decide basing from this condition kung gagawin niya yung statement mo. Then the word then. After then, this is the action or actions that will your program will perform. Okay? Dito mo ilagay yung codes mo kung na gusto mong gawin ng program. And then after and if, after ng statements mo, and if. So we need or we must follow the correct syntax in order to run the program. Again, if you didn't follow the correct syntax, halimbawa, if your condition, wala kang then, nandun yung statements, and if wala kang then, syntax error yan. The program will not produce any output or it will not run. Okay? So that is the syntax. Now, example number 1 for if then. If score equal 100, then LBL remarks or a label named remarks will display this word perfect, then end if. Let's assume that the score is 100. Okay, score. Bear in mind, score is 100. Okay. Is score equal 100? Is 100, as said, i-assume natin that the score is 100. 100 equal 100. Is that true or false? Is 100 equal to 100? True or false? That is true. Okay? So it will display perfect under LBL remarks, under this label. And then, tapos na. Okay? So that is if-then. What if the score is not 100? Let's say 79. The score is 79. Is 79, or the score is 79, equal to 100? 79 is equal to 100? False. Okay? How about false? What happens if the condition here is false? It says here, it will perform only this statement if the condition is true. What if our condition, the result of our condition here is false? 79 is not 100 or is equal to 100. It will not display perfect. Anong gagawin niya? Wala siyang gagawin. Hanggang doon lang. Okay? Example number 2. Okay. If price. Okay? Let's check if we followed the correct syntax. If our condition, we have here the then, statements, and if. Alright? So we followed the correct syntax. Okay? If price is greater than or equal to 100, then price, ito yung gagawin niya. Price times 0.10. Mag-multiply yan. Yung dating price niya, and then mag-multiply, and then tsaka i-display sa label. Now, what if price is 101? The price, let's assume that the price is 101. If 101 is greater or equal to 100? Yes, that is true. So, your program will perform this one. Meron siyang, increase or basta ipa-perform na tong statement natin or yung action na yan. What if the price is 100? 100 is greater than or equal to 100. That is true. True pa rin yan kasi equal. So, it will perform this one. Okay. How about if the price is 99? 99. Okay. If 99 is greater or equal to 100, that is false. So, it will not execute or it will not perform this statement. And if, wala na. Walang mangyayari kapag false yung ating condition. So, that is if-then selection structure. Alright? Let's move on to the next selection structure. If, then, else. Yung kanina, kapag true, tsaka lang niya gagawin. Ngayon, kapag true, the same gagawin niya, pero kapag false, meron na siyang gagawin. Okay? If, then, else. Alright. Like the if-then structure, a condition will be presented, and if the condition is true, the statement or series of statements after the if statement will be executed. And if false, it will execute the statement or statements after else. So we have here the correct syntax again on how to code, how to perform if then else. If your condition, then your statements, if the condition is true, ito yung gagawin niya. Then we have here the word else. Another statement, kung false yung condition, etong statements na to ang gagawin niya. Then the word and if after this second statements. Okay. We need to follow the correct syntax. Okay? We have here, example number 1 for if then else. If score equal 100, kagaya kanina, then perfect. Yan. Okay, let's assume that the score is 100. Okay. Is 100 equal to 100? True. So, it will display perfect. Okay? And then, wala na. Hindi na niya gagawin tong with mistakes. Isa lang. It's either this statement or this statement ang gagawin niya. Isa lang. Okay? So, pag 100, eto. What if the score is 99? Okay. Eto. 99 is equal to 100? False. So, it will not execute this statement. Hindi niya sasabihin na perfect. So, ano nang gagawin niya? So, it will display with mistakes. With mistakes. The statements under else. Yun yung i-display na niya. Yung kanina, wala lang. Kapag true lang, tsaka nasabing perfect, wala siyang sasabing with mistakes. Wala lang. Ngayon, meron na siyang sasabihin. If, then, else kasi. Okay? If the condition is true, it will perform this one. If false, it will perform the other statements. Under else. Alright? Example number 2. We have here. If sex equal M or male, then it will display this one. It will write male on the LBL sex label, and then it will display "Have a good day, sir," on a message box. Otherwise, if not M, okay, let's say you press F, okay, this one naman ang i-display niya. It will display female, and then it will a message box will appear, and then it will display "Have a good day, ma'am." Alright, okay. Let's assume that I pressed M. Yung M, na-press ko ay M. Did I press M? True. Okay? So, it will display male. And then, a message box will appear, "Have a good day, sir." Yun yung gagawin niya. And then, jump agad-agad dito sa last. Hindi na niya gagawin yon. Kasi sabi ko nga kanina, isa lang na statement ang gagawin niya. Or series of statements. How about if I pressed F? Okay? Did I press M? No. So, it will not display this one. So, ano na? Mag-jump dito sa else. Female ang di-display niya. "Have a good day, ma'am." Yun ang di-display niya. Okay? So, that is if, then, else. If, then, else. Alright? Next. Nested if. Kung gusto nyo mas marami pa, mas maraming condition, mas maraming statements, nested if naman ang pwede natin gamitin. Alright? So, nested if, it uses several conditions. It has several conditions. Yan. And then, if the condition is true, the statements after the if condition will be executed. If the condition is false, each condition in else if is evaluated until it gives a true result. Then, statements following it, then the statements following it will be immediately executed immediately. If no condition was met, the statements after else will be executed. Okay? So that is nested if. Alright? Okay, so let's take a look at this syntax. Okay? Again, this is the syntax or the basis or our guide on how to perform nested if. Okay? So if here the word if, your first condition, then the word then, and then the first statements. If the first condition is true, it will perform this statement, number 1. Okay? And then, we have here, else if. Isang word lang yan ha. Hindi siya magkahiwalay. Else if. And then your condition number 2. Then the word then. Now, we have here a statement or statements. Okay? If this condition is true, it will perform this. Then another else if. And then a condition. And then the statements if the condition is true. And then kung gusto mo mas marami pa, dagdagan mo lang. And then sa pinakahuli, we have here else. And then, statements. Anong gagawin niya kapag wala dyan? Hindi tumama dyan. So, ito na lang ang gagawin niya. And then, and if. So, let's take a look at this. Sample number 1. Wala na palang dalawa, hindi dalawa. Isa lang. Okay, example. We have here. If score is less than or equal to 100. Okay? Then, sabihin niya, category A. Category A. Else if score is less than or equal to 200, then it will display category B. Else if score is less than or equal to 300, then it will display category C. Else, it will display invalid score. So, the score are from 300 down. Okay? Ang magiging score dito ay 300 pababa. Hindi pwedeng 301. Okay? As you can see here, 300 hanggang less than 100, so hanggang 1 or 0. Okay? So that is the score. Now, what if the score is, let's say, 50? The score is 50. Okay, 50. Is score is less than or equal to 100? 50. Is 50 is less than 100? True. So it will display category A. And then, wala na. Once na tumama dun sa isa, it will not perform with the other kahit true pa yung iba. It will not perform, then end if na agad. Okay? So that is nested if. Now, what if score is 100? The score is 100. Okay? Is 100 equal to 100? True. True. Una pa lang nag-true na agad. So it will display category A. And then, jump, wala na. What if the score is 155? 155. Alright. If is 155 is less than or equal to 100, that is false. So it will not display category A. So it will evaluate the next condition. Else if is 100, ano yung sinabi ko, 55? Is 155 is less than or equal to 200. So that is true. So it will display category B. And then, jump sa last. Wala na. Okay? Sabi ko, isa-isa lang. What if score is 299? 299. Okay? The score is 299. Is 299 is less than or equal to 100? False. So it will not execute this one. It will not display category A. Now, it will evaluate the next condition. Is the score is less 299 is less than or equal to 200? False. So it will not display category B. Okay? Let's take a look at this. Is 299 is less than or equal to what? 300. So that is true. So it will display category C and then jump sa last. Okay? Hindi niya ginawa, hindi niya dinisplay yung category A, category B, kundi si category C ang dinisplay na niya. Alright? What if I typed, or the score is 305. 305. Okay, tignan natin. Is 305 is less than or equal 100? False. It will not execute this one. Is 305 is less than or equal 200? False. So it will not execute this one again. Okay, tignan natin isa pa. Is 305 is less than or equal 300? False. It will not execute this one. Meron pa bang ibang conditions? Wala na. Since wala nang ibang conditions, automatically, ito na yung i-display niya. Invalid score. Invalid score and then jump sa last. Wala na. Okay? So that is nested if. How to identify that your program uses nested if you can read else if, else if, else if. Yan. Kapag merong else if, ibig sabihin, nested if yan. Again, each conditions or each statements under conditions or these conditions, isa lang ang pwede ma-execute. Hindi pwedeng, since true doon, gawin niya lahat. No. Yung unang true, yun lang yung gagawin niya. So that is nested if. Alright? Next, or the last selection structure is the select case. Select case. Okay. It presents several conditions. The same with nested if. It is used instead of the nested if because it is clearer and easier to use. Pero depende kung saan yung mas gusto nyo or alin doon yung mas gusto nyo gamitin, yun yung gamitin nyo. Okay? It evaluates an expression once. The result is compared with several values. If they match, this statement in the statement block is executed. Okay, we have here the syntax. Select case. Syntax kailangan meron yan. Select case. And then, your expression. Expression. Sabihin natin kung ano yung expression mamaya. And then, case 1. And then, kung dito tumama, ito yung gagawin niya. And then, wala na. Kung dito tumama, ito yung gagawin niya, statement. Then, wala na ulit. Now, kung hindi tumama dito, hindi tumama dyan, at dito tumama, ito yung gagawin niya. Kung false lahat ang mga yan, nandun naman yung else, ito na yung gagawin niya. And then, wala na. And select. Okay, example. Example, we have here. Dim keyword as string. TXT keyword that text. Whatever the text that you type on a text box which is TXT keyword, yun yung laman ni keyword. Okay? So, ano-ano yung mga pwedeng i-type kay TXT keyword? We have here, U15, UA10, AN20, CA20. Yun yung mga pwedeng i-type sa kanya. Now, what if nag-type ako dun sa text box na TXT keyword ng U15 or ito, U15. Okay? Select case keyword. Ito yun. So, ibig sabihin, si U15 ay pinasa niya kay keyword. So, ang laman ngayon ni keyword ay U15. So, every time na tawagin ko si keyword, ang i-display niya ay U15. Okay. Again, what is keyword? U15. Yun yung sinabi natin dito na tinype natin. Okay. So, ang dito naman sa select case ay imamatch lang niya. U15. Where is U15 here? It's here, U15. So, it will display only tawag 15. And then, wala na. Yun ang select case. What if I typed AN20, AN20? Okay. So, that the content of keyword is AN20. Okay. So, where is AN20? This one. So, it will display AllNet 20. Of course, it will not display this one nor this one, AllNet 10, kundi ito. Kasi dito lang siya nag-match. Itong AN20, so ito lang ang gagawin niya. Okay, what if I type CA20? CA20. So the keyword or the name or the content or value of keyword here is CA20. So where is CA20? Ito, imamatch lang niya. Hahanapin niya kung saan magmamatch and then yun ang gagawin niya. These statements under this case, yun lang ang gagawin niya. Okay, so it will display combo all 20. What if I typed A015, A015. Again, A015. So the keyword is A015. Did I type U15? No? I don't know. Hindi pala yung gagawin yan. Ina-match niya. AU15. Okay. Where is AU15 here? Wala. Wala tayong makikitang A15. So, automatically, it will print this one. Invalid. Try again. Invalid keyword. Please try again. So, yun ang gagawin niya. AU15 eh. I don't know. Yeah. Tama ba yung sinabi ko kanina? AU15. Where is AU15? Wala. So, it will display this one. Invalid keyword. Try again. Kasi parang ito lang yung mga valid keywords. 4 lang. Okay? Kapag, if you want to add more keywords, we have here, before case else, case, and then, the keyword, new keyword, i-insert natin dito, and then, after that case, and then kung ano yung gusto mong i-display. If you want to add more, and then, follow this one. This format. Okay? This syntax. Follow. And then, sa last lang merong case else para meron siyang gagawin just in case na hindi mag-match sa mga keywords or sa mga conditions na ibibigay natin. Alright? So, that is select case. Again, we have discussed if then else, if then else, nested if, okay, and then select case. Nested if, kapag merong else if. Select case, kapag may mga mamabasa kang case. O, ang daming case. Buti pa sila, ang daming case. Alright? So, yun yan. Now, following is your activity. Laboratory activity. Of course, we will explain this soon. And, of course, if you can understand this, you may start creating or designing. Actually, it's not, the design is here, just your code. A code for this. Okay, basahin na lang muna ito and then, what end is this your code? So, I will be giving a format or a template where you can add your code or write your code and then, yun yung isasubmit nyo na naman via email. And then, activity 3, the same. And then, before we will discuss the repetition structure on the next video. So, abangan na naman ang next video. So, we will discuss the repetition structure. Yung paulit-ulit lang. Alright? So, we are done with the control structure. For now, yun muna. And then, if you have questions again, huwag kayo mahiya. Just ask question dun sa GC natin. Or just PM me kung nahiya kayo sa mga classmates nyo. Pero sabi ko, wag sana mahiya. Right? And then, I will answer that ASAP. Or, basta kung mag-online tayo, kung nasa mood. kung okay, kung pwede tayo mag-reply. Alright? So, yun muna. Paalam!